Fairly recently, we had a bet going on as to who could do better at Super Ghouls and Ghosts, who could get farther with 5 lives. And Westapo and I put out the challenge to the gaming community, and unfortunately, he and I had an individual bet going on between the two of us, and whichever one lost the bet had to play and review the game that the winner chose. And so Westapo decided to choose Karnov on the NES.
Karnov on the NES is terrible.
Good night, folks!
Not so fast, hooligan! It is I, Karnov! And it's definitely not you in a muscle shirt and fake mustache!
Look, ladies and gentlemen, it's Karnov. We were just talking about you.
Oh, I heard. Why don't you review the game properly like you and Westapo agreed upon?
Yeah, I know, a deal's a deal. So let's go ahead and take a look at Karnov on the NES. For real this time.
That's the spirit.
Oh, you're gonna stick around?
Are you kicking me out? I'm video game royalty.
Yeah, probably on the D list.
What was that?
Nothing, just an intro cutscene theme song.
Karnov, also known as Jinbarov Karovsky, is a character created by Data East who has appeared in many of their games, including a title I previously reviewed, Bad Dudes. While that game featured him as the level 1 boss, he's mostly considered a good guy in his own games. He starred in an arcade version of his self-titled action game that was released in 1987. However, we'll be reviewing the NES port, which was developed by Data East. Strangely enough, the Famicom version is labeled as being developed by SAS, Cicada, and Data East. We talked about this a bit on the Bad Dudes episode, but there's a few differences between the NES and Famicom versions, which makes the Famicom version insanely hard thanks to no unlimited continues. And this game, you need continues. I'm thinking that Data East decided to bring the difficulty down a bit, and I'm glad they did, because if I had to deal with the Famicom version, I would not be a happy camper. Anyways, these two companies also produced a number of other Data East ports of arcade titles, such as RoboCop, Bad Dudes, and, Ring King. Yeah, we know that that's you, Karnov, under that afro. Why don't you come out and say something?
Huh, was that you?
Don't look at me like that. I wasn't in that one.
Karnov has really no story in-game. However, the manual states that there's a treasure of Babylon hidden in the village of Cremenia. Okay? The treasure is being hunted by Ryu. No, I said Ryu. Wrong again. I said Ryu. Damn it! Let me finish. The dragon named Ryu. There we go. So, apparently Karnov is the townspeople's only hope to bring back the treasure. You'll fight through 9 levels to get to the evil dragon. The locations are diverse enough to keep me interested in what's coming next, but geez, this is one butt-ugly game. The visuals remind me of Faxanadu, however, that game's unique style had a certain whimsical charm to it, whereas Karnov's levels, enemy designs, and even Karnov himself are all just hideous.
What was that?
Nothing.
Though I will say I'm actually impressed at the variety of enemies you'll face off against in Karnov. From these statues that shoot at you, to knights, to weird stick creatures that have boobs? I'm not sure what's going on here right now. There's a lot that comes at you, so I can appreciate the change in baddies, even if they look awful. Karnov shoots fireballs at a pretty rapid pace, which is his main attack in the game. Pressing A jumps in, pressing B shoots. If you get a power-up circle, better known as a super fireball, then you can increase the number of layers of your fireball for greater coverage automatically. Think of it like changing from machine gun to spread shot in Super C. You can get up to 2 extra layers of firepower. However, if you get hit once, Karnov turns blue. If you get hit first before getting the super fireball, then you can't level up your attack. You have to get back to full health before you can get the more powerful shot. It's a similar system to, the armor upgrades in Super Ghouls and Ghosts, the game that got me here in the first place.
I bet you're regretting not practicing for your challenge with Westapo.
Why aren't you bald?
Excuse me?
Well, in the game, you're bald.
In the game, your face is bald.
In the game, your mom's face is bald.
Nice.
There's also tons of different icons that you can collect that all have different abilities. The K logos will allow you to acquire a bonus life if you collect 50 of them. The boots allow you to temporarily increase how high you can jump. Bombs destroy walls, and while they can attack enemies, I never really use them for that, as you can't throw the bombs. You just use them where you're standing. They have a short fuse, and they really don't work that well against too many of the bad guys in the game. The ladder can be used multiple times, though if you die while it's in use, you will have to reacquire it. To put the ladder back in your inventory, you have to press down when you're at the bottom of it to equip it back into your inventory. It's primarily used to grab harder to reach items. The boomerang is a much more powerful attack than your shot, which works great against bosses. There's something called a clapper, which will destroy all enemies on screen except bosses. The mask icon is called glasses, which allows you to find hidden items, though I never really use this that often. There's an orb, which is actually a swimming mask, making it much easier to navigate in water. The wings can only be used in certain locations, so it's worth holding onto these for when you really need them, especially since they're only good to use temporarily. One of my favorites is the shield icon, which allows you to take a few additional hits from projectiles. The items themselves are not bad. The biggest issue I have with this game is how to enable these items. See, when you move Karnov, you'll notice that the box selection changes for which item you can potentially use. In other words, if you move left, the cursor will move left. If you move right, the cursor will move right. In order to enable them, you have to press the select button. Sometimes there are crucial moments where you have to select an item quickly, or perhaps you're on a small platform that you can't move too much on. You have to take baby steps in order to select what you want. The whole thing just feels very flawed and flaky. They could have made select the button to scroll through the list of items and maybe, up and B in order to enable the item. Karnov's hitbox is awful. Projectiles will assumedly hit air because it doesn't even look like they're hitting you. And sometimes the attacks are so hard to see because they're super tiny, so projectiles can be a real nightmare to dodge. Most bosses fire projectiles at you at a pretty rapid pace, so it's all about whoever can take more shots to the face before they die. I gotta say, this is probably some of the worst music that I've heard in a game in a long time. I really loathe the music in this game. There's one stage theme that is the same in every level, and it just sounds like bizarre circus music. I get what they were going for it with the character itself, and this is technically his theme. I mean, it was in Bad Dudes as well, but it really starts to get on your nerves after you have to start replaying a level. As mentioned earlier, the game has unlimited continues along with branching paths in levels. It's odd though, sometimes you'll go one way, but if you die, the game will put you onto the opposite path, almost as if you weren't allowed to take the path that you wanted to, and the game is forcing you to take a path that they think you need to be taking. But in all honesty, all the paths lead to the same destination, so what was the point of that? The bosses tend to repeat quite a bit. There's a lion and his lion tamer, a dragon-looking guy called Chicken Bone in the manual, okay, a Medusa-type creature, a dual-headed enemy named Ghidorah. They tend to repeat once in a while, some of which show up as mini-bosses in later levels. The end fight with Ryu— No! Bad review! Don't you start that again! Ryu the Dragon is incredibly easy to beat. One of his 3 heads will pop up out of these caverns, and you just have to blast him back to hell. The ending is a joke. It's literally just a "you did it" type of screen. Karnov controls okay for the most part, though I really hate falling off a ladder or platform, as Karnov drops like a slow rock. For whatever reason, I can tolerate it when it happens to the Belmonts in the Castlevania games, but Karnov's descent is so agonizingly slow. It would be better just to have him drop fast, so in case I do end up dying, I could just restart faster. Overall, this game has its merits for being a difficult title, but when there's nothing fun or enticing about it, why bother? This is what happens when you scrape the bottom of the action game barrel. You allow your game to have weird option controls, floaty jumping mechanics, unfair hitboxes, and awkward hit detection that sometimes doesn't register on enemies. Combine this with lackluster graphics and tinny, repetitive circus music for a double dose of Chilicon Karnov. My advice, stay away from this one. Stay far away.
You know, that really hurts. I've got feelings too, you know.
Yeah, I know. You know, I'm sorry, Karnov. I know it's not your fault that your game isn't great.
Yeah? Oh well. I don't really care, to be honest. The paycheck was too good to be true. My manager hooked me up better than Bobby Bonilla.
Really? Baseball trivia?
Later, loser. By the way, you look terrible in a dress.
Oh yeah? Well, you smell like rotten borscht. Huh. Yeah, that's right. I know he's not there anymore. Whatever. Stupid Karnov. What does he know?
Thank you to the following patrons. Your support means the world to me. Want more Dude You Haven't Played This Game? Make sure to stay subscribed to the channel. And don't forget to check out these videos. As always, thanks for watching.